good morning, before the world asks for your time, your energy, your soul. Before the texts, the noise, the deadlines, the doubt, there must be a moment of stillness, a moment where you speak not to the world, but to the mirror. To the person who matters most, you, every morning holds a kind of quiet magic, before the noise of the world rushes in, before emails, headlines, or obligations arrive. There's a sacred space, a moment that belongs only to you. And in that space, what you say to yourself isn't just a whisper in the mirror. It's the blueprint for how your day will unfold. It's the starting line of your internal dialogue, and whether you realize it or not, affirmations shape your reality. Your mind is not neutral. It's a field, and whatever seeds you plant in it each morning, thoughts of strength or thoughts of fear, words of love or words of doubt, those are the crops you'll harvest throughout the day. When you wake up and speak life into yourself, you're not just saying nice words. You are shaping your chemistry, your choices, your posture toward life. You are deciding in that moment the kind of world you're willing to live in and the kind of person you're willing to be in it. That's why mornings matter. They are not just a transition from sleep to waking. They are a threshold, a daily rebirth. And when you wake up and say to yourself, I am enough, you are training your mind to stop seeking permission from the world. When you say, I can handle what comes, you are preloading your nervous system to respond with calm instead of panic. When you say, I choose purpose, you are aligning your feet before they ever hit the floor. There are people who go entire days, even entire lives, without ever realizing they have the power to decide their state of mind. They wait for circumstances to bless them before they believe they are blessed. They wait for someone to love them before they feel lovable. But you, if you speak with intention in the morning, you are flipping that formula. You are saying, I don't wait to feel powerful. I remind myself that I already am. That reminder, done consistently, does something deeper than motivate. It rewires, and yes, some mornings you won't feel strong. Some mornings you'll wake up with fear sitting on your chest. The weight of the world, or of your past, or of uncertainty, might try to speak first. But that's exactly why you must speak louder. Affirmations are not lies. They're not wishful thinking. They are declarations of intent. They are decisions made in the direction of who you are becoming. They are the bridge between the person you were yesterday and the one you are brave enough to be today. We often underestimate how deeply our inner language affects us. The words we say out loud carry more power than the words that stay in our head. That's why you must not only think the affirmation, you must say it with breath, with presence, with conviction, because when your own voice becomes the first voice you hear in the morning, and that voice speaks strength, clarity, and worth, you begin to rise differently. You begin to walk into the day not as a question mark, but as an exclamation. So treat your mornings as sacred, guard them, fill them with truth. Speak to yourself not as a critic, but as a coach, not as someone trying to fix what's broken, but as someone determined to grow what is whole. Every morning is a doorway, and your words are the key. Use them wisely, use them boldly, and the world you walk into will reflect the power you spoke before the day even began. Self-talk is a mirror. It reflects not just how you see yourself, but how you believe the world sees you. And whether that reflection is empowering or destructive depends on one thing: what you say to yourself when no one is listening. Every thought, every whispered judgment or silent praise builds the internal image you carry. You are not shaped by what others think of you nearly as much as you are shaped by what you tell yourself day in and day out. In this way, you are the first person you must convince of your worth. If you don't believe in your own value, no amount of external validation will ever feel like enough. There's something profoundly intimate about self-talk. It's private, invisible, and because of that, most people never truly confront it. They let it run unchecked, on autopilot, echoing old doubts, past failures, inherited insecurities. It becomes background noise. But here's the truth. That noise becomes your narrative, that narrative becomes your identity, and that identity shapes your decisions, your relationships, and your ability to grow. You don't need permission to rewrite the way you speak to yourself. You don't need a perfect past or approval from others or even a clean slate. What you need is the awareness that your inner voice is not set in stone. It is not a fact, it is a habit, and like any habit, it can be broken, rebuilt, and transformed. The words you say to yourself either build you up or tear you down, brick by brick. If your internal voice constantly says you're not enough, that you're behind, that you're not as good as them, then the life you live will shrink to match those beliefs. Your actions will follow that dialogue. You'll avoid risks, you'll settle, you'll apologize for being yourself. But when your inner dialogue begins to affirm your worth, even quietly, things begin to shift. You take chances, you speak with more clarity, you carry yourself differently. Not because you're pretending, but because you've started to believe, and belief, real belief, starts on the inside. It's not arrogance or delusion. It's the quiet strength that comes from knowing you have value before you prove anything, that you matter not because of what you achieve, but because you are you. That kind of belief doesn't need applause. It simply needs honesty. Changing how you speak to yourself isn't about empty positivity. It's not about ignoring your flaws or pretending life is always easy. It's about becoming your own ally. It's about telling yourself the truth, that you are capable, even when you're afraid, that you are worthy, even when you fall short, that you can grow, even from pain. You don't need to wait until you deserve kindness to give it to yourself. In fact, it's often the moments you feel least worthy that you need it the most. Imagine looking into a literal mirror each morning and only pointing out your scars, your weaknesses, your regrets. How long could you do that before you started to believe that was all there is? Now imagine replacing that habit with something different. Not flattery, but truth. Telling yourself, I am doing the best I can. I am learning. I bring value. I deserve to take up space. Over time, those words begin to build something stronger than confidence. They build self-respect. Because no matter how loud the world gets, your voice, the one inside your own head, will always be the most consistent. So if self-talk is a mirror, make sure it reflects your strength, not just your struggle. Speak to yourself the way you would speak to someone you love, and watch how the reflection changes not just in your mind, but in your life. Affirmations are not magic words. They are not wishful chants thrown into the air hoping the universe will catch them. Affirmations are declarations, deliberate and personal. They are designed to realign your focus, reinforce your identity, and ignite your action. But for them to do their work, each one must carry power, clarity, and purpose. Without those three elements, affirmations become empty, forgotten lines spoken without feeling or intent. And when something is said without meaning, it doesn't just lose effectiveness. It becomes noise. Power is the emotional charge behind the words. It's what makes the affirmation feel alive. You must believe what you say has weight. You must say it with energy, even if it's quiet. Whispered conviction is louder than shouted doubt. Power means you are not reciting. You are declaring. You are standing behind what you say. If you tell yourself, I am strong, but you say it passively, distractedly, like reading a grocery list, it won't connect. But if you pause, breathe, and speak those words from the core of who you are, then something shifts. You feel it, you lean into it, and that feeling, that internal spark, is what turns words into momentum. Clarity is equally important. Your mind responds best to precision, not vague hope. Affirmations like I want to be better, or I hope things improve, sound nice, but they lack focus. They don't give the brain or the spirit a target. You need to be clear. What are you becoming better at? What truth are you affirming today? Instead of "I want to be confident," say "I speak with confidence and own my voice." That's clear. It paints a picture. The clearer the affirmation, the more your subconscious knows what it's being told to believe. Clarity eliminates confusion. It separates empty slogans from meaningful truth. Then comes purpose. Without purpose, affirmations become routine, and routine without intention is just repetition. You must know why you are saying what you're saying. Each affirmation must be tied to something deeper: your healing, your growth, your dreams, your values. If you affirm that you are disciplined, it shouldn't be for the sake of sounding productive. It should come from the purpose of becoming someone who follows through, someone who honors their commitments, someone who builds a life they don't want to escape from. Purpose gives every word its direction. It connects the affirmation to your identity, and when identity is involved, the statement becomes personal. That's when it sticks. Many people recite affirmations like a checklist, rushed, flat, and disconnected. They wonder why nothing changes, but affirmations are not about volume, they are about depth. You don't need 50 different lines, you need a few, spoken with fire and meaning, and those few must be crafted carefully. You don't just want to feel better in the moment. You want to rewire your mind to expect better, think better, become better. So when you choose your affirmations, choose words that carry your story. Choose words that pull you forward. Make them strong enough to break through doubt, clear enough to guide your mind, and purposeful enough to keep showing up when life gets messy. You are not just saying things, you are shaping yourself. You are shaping your mornings, your mindset, your habits. These statements become silent companions that walk with you through the day. And when crafted right, they will speak louder than fear, louder than failure, louder than any voice that ever told you you weren't enough. Say what you mean what you say, and let every affirmation be a brick in the foundation of who you are becoming. Motivation feels good, but it's fleeting. It comes in waves, some days crashing in strong, other days barely a ripple. You can watch a video, read a quote, or hear an inspiring speech and feel like you're ready to take on the world. But what happens when that spark fades? When it's early and you're tired, or the day's already gone sideways? That's where discipline comes in, because discipline isn't loud. It doesn't need fireworks or applause. Discipline is quiet, consistent, and rooted. It's the part of you that shows up anyway, even when you don't feel like it. Especially when you don't feel like it. The truth is, anyone can speak affirmations when life is good. Anyone can feel hopeful when the sun is shining and the path is clear. But character isn't built in easy moments. It's forged in resistance. And repeating the truths you've chosen, even when it feels like nothing is changing, is the kind of repetition that rewires you. It's not sexy, it's not dramatic, but it's powerful, because every time you speak an affirmation on a day you don't feel like it, you're proving to yourself that you are not ruled by feelings, you are led by principles. There's a kind of quiet strength in doing what needs to be done without needing to feel excited about it. That's what discipline is, and when it comes to affirmations, it's not about saying them once and expecting miracles. It's about choosing them like tools and picking them up daily, even when your energy is low, even when your results haven't shown up yet. Repetition is what makes them stick. It's what makes them go from words you say to truths you become. Think of your mind like a path in the woods. Motivation walks the path once and calls it progress. Discipline walks it every day until the path becomes a road, and the road becomes a way of life. Affirmations are no different. Saying, "I am confident," one time might give you a temporary lift. But saying it every morning, even on the days you doubt it, begins to change the way your mind sees itself. It begins to chip away at the old voices, the outdated beliefs, the inherited fears. That's what builds character. Not the momentary burst of inspiration, but the decision to act on your truth consistently. And that's what makes the difference between people who talk about change and people who live it. Motivation is the spark, but discipline is the firewood. You don't need to feel motivated to be disciplined. You just need to decide that showing up for yourself is non-negotiable. Some mornings saying your affirmations will feel powerful and connected. Other mornings they'll feel forced, robotic, even pointless. Say them anyway, because that act, that choice to stay the course, is what carves depth into your character. It's how you prove to yourself that you are reliable, that you keep promises, even the ones you make to yourself. And few things shape self-respect more than doing what you said you would consistently. In the end, your character is built not by the days you feel inspired, but by the days you persist. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you're becoming. And every time you speak a truth into your life, even when your emotions try to shut it down, you're laying another brick in that bridge. You're becoming the kind of person who doesn't just hope, but who follows through. And that is how real transformation happens, not in the fire of motivation, but in the steady rhythm of daily discipline. The way you speak to yourself, the way you carry yourself, and the respect you afford your own needs serve as the invitation you extend to the rest of the world. When you honor your own worth by setting healthy boundaries, by refusing to tolerate disrespect, by treating yourself with kindness, others receive a clear message: you are someone who deserves respect, attention, and care. Conversely, if you allow yourself to be spoken down to, if you accept excuses for mistreatment, if you neglect your own well-being, the world takes that as permission to match your self-treatment. Relationships, opportunities, even the tone of everyday interactions tend to mirror your own level of self-regard. When you prioritize your own growth, you communicate a standard for how you expect to be treated. Saying no to what drains you is not selfish. It's a declaration that you value your time and your energy. Others pick up on that declaration. They learn that your yes is meaningful and that your no must be honored. They respect your commitments, they listen when you speak, and they recognize that your life is not a playground for their whims. In essence, when you teach people how to treat you by how you treat yourself, you create a life in which your dignity is protected and your boundaries are clear. On the other hand, if you excuse poor behavior, if you justify being talked over, if you pretend that disrespectful comments don't hurt, you send a message that your own feelings and standards don't matter. In that scenario, the world's reactions become a self-fulfilling prophecy of your unmet needs. People will push against undefined boundaries. Opportunities will slip because you haven't claimed your worth, and interactions will carry a subtle undercurrent of condescension or disregard. The mirror you hold up for the world reflects back your own undervaluing of yourself. The most powerful shift happens when you start treating yourself as your own best friend. You become willing to offer yourself compassion in moments of failure, to celebrate your wins, to speak kindly when your inner critic begins to shout. That inner kindness changes the energy you project. It softens your posture, opens your gaze, and steadies your voice. And people respond in kind. They lean in to help, they offer generosity, and they engage with you from a place of genuine care rather than mere convenience or self-interest. The world senses your self-respect and adapts its behavior to match. Ultimately, the world reacts to how you treat yourself because human beings are wired to mirror social signals. If your own signal is, "I am worthy of respect," then the world will reflect that back. If your signal is, "I am unimportant," then the world will confirm that too. The choice, however, is entirely in your hands. By committing each morning to honor your own value, by speaking a language of self-respect, by tending to your emotional, mental, and physical needs, you reshape the way life interacts with you. You transform not only your own experience, but the very energy you bring into every encounter. And in that transformation lies the key to a life marked by respect, love, and the full recognition of your inherent worth. Every morning, you stand at the threshold of possibility, armed with the truths you choose to speak. Embrace your worth, claim your power, and let discipline guide you when motivation wanes. Treat yourself with the respect you deserve, and watch the world mirror it back. Speak these affirmations not as empty words, but as promises to yourself, and step into each day knowing you hold the blueprint for your own greatness. So here are 6 things you must tell yourself every morning, not as a routine, but as a ritual.